That's episode 17. Can you even believe it? I can't. Okay, bye.
We need to get lives. This is literally our lives, recording podcasts that only 8 people listen to.
Yep. Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
Eight's generous, 3.
Yeah, I think it's just the same people. Like, the view counts don't match the number of people that talk about it. So I think it's just the same 3 people listening to it about 70 times each. So, thanks.
I did find out one more person that listens to it, though. One James Diesel.
Really?
Yeah, because me and Cody and I were talking about something,
Yeah.
and he corrected Cody on a comment that we made.
That we made. Oh, wow.
So I was like, all right, we got another listener.
Huh? Fucking A.
The more, the better.
So,
Still not a fan of the show, Daniel McCabe.
no, even when he's on the show, he will probably be on the next episode of this show.
He will be, and he will hate it.
Yeah. Because he's a hateful man with no joy in his life.
I guess I better bring my butt stuff book, because it's got all the information in it.
Yes, definitely bring me
The
information.
book about stuff.
Yes, next episode should be a mobile episode. And by that, we mean you can listen to it on your phone. Also, we will be moving while we record it. But this episode is one of several we promised in previous episodes. This is the 2015 MMXV. Yep, that's right. I had to think about it. Yeah, I really shouldn't have, like, it's not a complicated year, Roman numeral was, and yet I always throw myself off. It's like the Super Bowl this year. Super Bowl L. Like, it's as easy as it gets.
Super Bowl large.
Large. See, XL was better 10 years ago.
Yeah, XL was a lot better.
And actually, L is, in fact, so lame, they're not calling it L, they're calling it 50.
50, yeah.
Yeah. So,
But 50 makes sense.
yeah. Same as when the WrestleMania numerals got too complicated, they're just call it the number.
WrestleMania play button. WrestleMania Dallas.
Yeah, now they just give it up on numbers, period. But even like 17, they couldn't bring themselves to do XVII. They had to do X7.
Yeah.
And then just like 21, 22, 23. Yeah, when did they even go back to Roman numerals? Like basically 21 through 25 they didn't, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. And then they finally got back to it. But anyway,
We've digressed.
we have once again digressed, as we are wont to do. But this is the 2015 year-end awards episode, and like our last several episodes, we have corrections and omissions to discuss from the last episode. Last episode, one of the 2 parts. We of course did the WrestleMania is fucked this year episode, and that was before John Cena was injured. So, in case you're wondering, WrestleMania is even more fucked.
It really is.
So, yeah, I don't know if we need to go into it anymore.
No.
But
When we do our preview show, then
yeah, we can talk about it some more. But yeah, every match they had planned for the last 12 months for this year's WrestleMania is not happening. Basically.
yes.
So good luck with that. And as we say, for the 3rd straight year, WrestleMania is fucked. And for the first of those 3 years, I expect we will actually be right this time. And it won't be surprisingly great. Because there's just no way it can be. Because nobody's wrestling on it.
Nope, it will be a 4-hour Kid Rock concert.
Yeah. If all the people who weren't wrestling on WrestleMania were not injured and had their own show, it'd be really good.
Mm-hmm.
Like Cena, Danielson, Cesaro, Seth Rollins.
Yeah.
Like it'd be a good show. But no, none of them were there. I get Orton, I guess, whatever. But this episode is not about how fucked WrestleMania is, unless there's something about WrestleMania being fucked last year, because it was the year-end awards episode, and we have a number of categories to get through. Slightly different format than the previous 2 years we've done this.
Yes.
2 or 3, at least 2.
Yeah, at least 2. I'm not sure if we did it the year before that.
The prior years, Drew's working out the same format in that he has the list of categories and has things written down for most of those categories. That's what I have done in the previous 2 years. I've said, Drew, what are the categories? And Drew tells me the categories, and then I look at the categories, and then I decide what the answers are to those. This year, I am totally winging it, and so I expect I will miss many obvious things, and think of many stupid things. But I just thought it would be interesting to do all the year-end awards off the top of my head. I expect I will arrive at a number of my award winners through discussion after hearing Drew's and that jogging my memory on things. But I've got a couple in my head just for some of the awards, but we'll see what comes up as we do it. But I have 0 things written down, so we'll see what stupid awards I give out, and then we plan to telephone all of the award winners and have them come down to accept their awards in person in Drew's bedroom here. So we hope that works out. We'll have our own little slammies,
And then we get to kiss.
and then we get the kiss.
Them, the winners.
Yeah,
Yeah.
not each other.
No,
Gross.
that's great. That's gay.
Super gay. Yeah. So are we just jumping into it? I'm done talking.
Yeah, we can just jump right in, and I decided that we were going to start with we're going to start on the bad end, go with the worsts of the year, and work our way towards your matches, your wrestler, your champion, the big ones.
Yeah.
So let's start out with, and I feel like there will be a lot of discussion on this one, the worst storyline of 2015.
Okay. I think I've got one for this, and I think it's different than the one you had mentioned.
I have 3 written down.
Okay. This might be the same as one of them then.
It is.
Oh, okay.
Because we discussed this like last time when we talked about doing the awards.
Oh, okay.
We discussed
Yeah,
this.
it probably is that then. I will say off the bat that there's probably some TNA storylines we're omitting here because nobody fucking watches TNA anymore.
And everything they do is horrible.
And everything they do is horrible and not worth anyone's time. But one thing we just talked about before going live here was the most recent TNA title situation, which has actually bled into 2016. That being Matt Hardy wins the world title at some big show they had. I don't even know what. Was it Bound for Glory?
Couldn't tell you.
Then because they had taped like 12 weeks of television back in July, well before Matt Hardy won the title live, and Matt Hardy wasn't on those tapings, he then relinquished the title the day after winning it on the internet, not even on television, and then they have a giant title tournament for it, which then he ends up in anyway, and goes to the finals of it, loses to EC3, and then wins the title back the next week from EC3. So that sounded real dumb, but not my one. So first thing that came to mind when I heard worst storyline was the WWE Divas Revolution, where I don't know how you could fuck up 3 very good women's wrestlers who were bonkers over in NXT and to so badly fuck them up, bringing them up to the main roster. And after seeing it, I worry so much for anyone being brought up from NXT, especially women. Like, I hope Bayley never gets called up, just for her own sake.
Now, and I think what it is it comes down to NXT being in one location with a loyal fan base that's there every week.
Yeah.
That are super smarky, as opposed to a bigger show that travels around the country with, I would say, like, less dedicated fan. Like, when you're a main roster fan, I think that it's more likely that you're only going to like X amount of wrestlers. Mm-hmm. Whereas I think if you're at NXT and you're there every week and you see the same people every week, it's like you're there for the whole show. You're there for the experience of seeing all those people. And that's why they're super over. And then you bring them to the main roster, and it's a bigger audience.
Yeah.
But it's always changing, right? So you go to North Carolina, Charlotte's going to be super over.
Yeah.
You go to like somewhere out, like up northeast somewhere, and they might not give a shit.
Yeah.
I mean, that's why her dad came back and they put him with her
Yeah.
and turned her heel, because that was the only way to make sure she kept heat.
Yeah.
But for me, nothing is worse than fucking Sasha Banks.
Yeah.
Sasha Banks is an amazing worker.
Yeah.
She is fucking gorgeous.
Yep.
And nobody could care less about her
No.
in the in the main roster.
Yeah, or
Like-
really any other women, because they've been conditioned to not give a shit about any of the women
Yeah.
for years and years,
Yeah.
because they were always the 3-minute filler match that meant nothing.
Mm-hmm.
And now they're trying to do something else, but it's not working, and understandably so. And just the way they were brought up was so poorly done. And they should have been brought up one at a time, each made to feel special, but the way it was done was so weird and great. Like I don't even know how they thought of it, but like it was all the existing women standing there yelling at each other and being a bunch of cunts, because that's the only thing the writers know how to write for women, and then kindergarten teacher Stephanie. Who is all of their moms, comes out and tells them to settle down, and here's 3 new playmates to play with, and I'm putting you all into teams.
Yeah.
And that's how that works.
Mm-hmm.
And it made no sense. There was no logic behind it. Charlotte, Becky, and Sasha all suffered for it because of the way they were brought in, and they weren't brought in individually, and none were ever made to stand out. And besides Charlotte, they've done nothing really to make Becky or Sasha stand out.
And the only reason that Charlotte stands out is because of her lineage.
Yeah.
It's the only reason.
Oh, completely.
Like, she's a fine worker.
She's fine.
Like, she's got pros and cons.
Yeah. Sasha
But,
and
like,
Becky are better.
Way better.
Yeah.
Yeah. But because she's Ric Flair's daughter.
Yeah.
And, one of Ric Flair's sons is fat and shitty, and the other one is dead.
Yep.
Which that actually bleeds into the worst storyline. And
Yes, a very specific part of this, as things have gone on, was the Charlotte versus Paige feud, which was bonkers in its own right, because Paige was the heel, Charlotte was the face, and very clear lines were drawn. And in the course of things, Paige brought up Reed Flair for no reason other than to ostensibly get heat, but it didn't really get much heat. It got heat on the WWE for being horrible people for bringing it up.
it also got heat on Charlotte.
And heat on Charlotte, who WWE blamed it on,
Yeah.
even though she didn't want to do it, and Ric Flair wasn't even told about it.
Nope.
So that was some stand-up shit. And then weeks later, they basically double-turned them for no reason. It was...
Because they thought it was easier to get Charlotte heel heat than face heat.
I guess, yeah. Which makes the whole Reed thing even dumber if the person who said the Reed thing, which was supposed to be a despicable thing to say, and was in real life, that is then face with it, that same month. And
But even before that was the Charlotte wins the title, big celebration.
Yeah.
But because the writers only know how to write girls as cunty bitches,
Yeah.
Paige immediately has to turn heel.
Yeah.
Because you can't get along if you're a woman. You can't
Yeah.
be friends.
to
So Paige turns heel. Then they realize oh well, we totally fucked this up.
Yeah.
So Paige is now, I'm so sorry. We're still friends. I still love you guys.
Yeah.
For 2 or 3 weeks.
and then really turns
And
heel
then really
after
turns heel.
already really turning heel a few weeks earlier. Yeah, as far as the writers are concerned, to quote Phil Hartman from News Radio, show me a woman who isn't jealous of another woman, and I'll show you a man.
I guess they're following that train of thought.
Yeah, to the letter.
Yes.
So, yeah, worst storyline of the year, Divas Revolution.
I had that one as mine. I also had the PCB, or the submission sorority.
I forgot Submission Sorority.
Mm-hmm.
Guys, before you make up stable names, just Google it.
Just Google the words and see what
Just
comes up.
Google it once.
Yeah. And the other one that I had written down was the very poorly booked Undertaker and Kane versus the Wyatts.
Ah, yes. With
The feud that involved two old men against a group of four young big people, or young-ish big people, and having the two old men just squash them.
just kill him.
Just kill them.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was like not even a numbers game. Just two really old men, one kind of fat, one kind of turkey necked,
Real turkey neck.
beating the shit out of big muscle men,
Yeah. Completely.
unstoppable monsters.
And another thing going for that winning worst storyline is that they were, you know where I'm going with this,
Yes.
is that they were building the matchup for Survivor Series, and the Wyatts had recently added a fourth person, and then are clearly feuding with Taker and Kane, and then so like for the few weeks, I guess would have been after Hell in a Cell, leading up to Survivor Series, everyone's like, oh, who are Taker and Kane gonna add to their four-man team so they can do 4-on-4 against the Wyatts? Then they just do a tag match.
It's a tag match
At Survivor Series.
Yeah.
And then the Wyatts, of course, go on to do an 8-man tag at the next pay-per-view after Survivor Series.
Yes.
So that was just real. You can tell how many months in advance they plan things, and that answer is 0.
Is -1.
Yeah. They're behind.
Yeah.
They're playing catch up on their planning,
Yeah.
basically.
Yeah, always, constantly.
Yeah.
Because nobody can ever make a decision, and when it comes down to Vince,
Yeah.
it's like he has no concept of what's happening.
Yeah, the whole thing's just a quagmire because like it's 28 writers, many of whom have no wrestling experience, writing to please an old crazy person.
An old crazy overlord.
Yeah. And given that fact, which is a fact, it's actually amazing WWE is as good as it is.
Yeah. Yes.
Like, the fact they ever produce anything good is amazing. Like, anything good they do is in spite of themselves.
Have the Raw ratings gone up lately, or they're still low?
No, even with no Monday Night Football, it's still, like, it's record lows every week.
Yes. Well, PG is not a thing that is beneficial to them.
Nor is a 3-hour Raw.
Nor is a 3-hour Raw, nor is a lack of talent.
Yeah, all these
Or
things...
sorry, a lack of properly pushed talent.
Yeah.
Because they do have talent.
They have some people. They're not doing fuck all with them, but they got some people.
Yeah, okay. So, here's what we got next. Worst professional wrestler.
I haven't thought about this, so I'll let you go and see what I think of.
I will start.
One that comes to mind, I'm not giving him the award yet, is Braun Strowman. I feel like there's worse out there, though.
Yes.
But he's... And it's not even his fault.
No.
He had... I looked it up. Before he was called up to Raw, he had 7 professional wrestling matches in his life, 0 on TV.
Mm-hmm.
He had done 7 NXT house shows, and that was the extent of his pro wrestling actual match experience.
That's because he's a big, giant muscle man.
And Vince is a homosexual. Can we say it?
100%.
He's a homosexual.
100%.
Okay.
There's nothing Vince loves more than a greased up, oiled up, big muscle man.
Yeah.
That he can jerk off to.
That's correct.
Or jerk off onto him.
Either way.
Yeah.
But yeah, and Braun will probably be... I don't think he'll ever be good. He'll, depending if he progresses, he may be fine in a few years, but he is, like, embarrassingly green right now and is always out of position for spots and always fucking stuff up.
I don't know that he'll get better because he's kind of old.
Yeah.
Like, you don't get better when you start wrestling when you're older,
Yeah, that's true.
right? Like okay, sure, Batista had some decent years,
Yeah.
but overall,
He was
not that
never
great, right?
Yeah.
You don't start out old and get good.
Yeah.
You start out old and are acceptable,
Yeah.
which he is not acceptable.
No.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Is he worse than Eric Rowan? Because I feel like sometimes he's not worse than Eric Rowan.
I think he's worse than Eric Rowan because Eric Rowan, while never the reason for it, has been in some good matches. He was obviously in some really good like six mans like Shield versus Wyatt's, but even the Harper and Rowan versus Usos tags were good.
Yes.
And Rowan was like one of the four people.
Yeah.
So and it like put Strowman in Rowan's place. By the way, I hate that all their names sound the same. Strowman and Rowan and Jesus. I don't think the match would be as good. So no, I think Rowan is definitely. I don't think Rowan is good. I think he is considerably better than Strowman. But I feel like there's worse wrestlers out there, and hopefully I will think of some while you talk about yours.
Well, one of them you and I had talked
I
about.
feel like there's got to be some women.
Oh yeah, but that goes.
Oh, Eva Marie.
That goes without saying.
Yeah, is
Like we're talking wrestlers that matter.
oh, so not
Male wrestlers.
so not Eva Marie.
But yeah, Eva Marie is easily the worst wrestler
Yeah,
that's ever wrestled.
yeah.
Like no joke, that has ever wrestled.
She might be. Yeah,
Yeah.
Because like there's some bad ones. Like Rosa Mendez was really bad.
She was bad. Yeah.
Oksana was really bad.
Oksana was really bad.
Velvet Sky has been consistently bad for 10 years.
Yeah. Cameron's bad.
Cameron's bad. But yeah, Eva Marie is a special kind of just like, and like, you know, God bless her. Like, she shouldn't be in a ring, and like, she probably doesn't even want to be in a ring.
No.
They just like,
She's just using it as a way to get herself famous so that she can do other things.
She's like, oh, I gotta get through this shit until I can make a movie.
Well, it's pretty much, they made Total Divas to showcase Eva Marie. Like, that is 100% what they have it.
Mm-hmm.
But you and I had discussed, maybe a few weeks ago, just how fucking unwatchable and unworkable Bad Luck Fale is.
Oh, yeah.
He is not like he was bad before,
Yeah.
but at least he was in okay-ish shape.
He has quit.
He is fat as fuck now, and he is horrible.
Bad Luck Fale at this year's Dome show was the exact opposite of Minoru Suzuki at last year's Dome show. Minoru Suzuki for last year's Dome show got in like sick shape, like came to play, got new gear, and like was awesome. Fale at this year's Dome show appeared to gain 30 pounds of belly fat.
Yeah.
Did not have new gear. Perhaps got his old gear dirtier.
Yeah.
And was a general piece of shit.
And couldn't have mailed it in anymore.
I've never seen someone care less.
Did not try.
No.
Like,
yeah, he sucks.
Didn't, like, he didn't, his striking was lazy. I don't think he even bumped the whole match. No. I don't remember him taking a bump.
Me neither.
Luckily for him that he was in a match where Mark Briscoe put in 150% and was the most entertaining man on the planet.
Marky was in it to win it.
But yeah, Fale, like, and that's saying something. He's on the same fucking team as Yujiro.
And we're not talking about Yujiro.
Like, that's fucking sad. Like, it's one thing to just be, like, dangerous and a scumbag like Yujiro, but it's another thing to be worse than that.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's a horrible wrestler. Like, I wouldn't even call him a wrestler. He's just a big fat blob. So he's my number one. A couple of, like, I guess honorable mentions. Does not get enough credit for being bad is Sheamus, who is fucking completely unwatchable.
He's bad and unsafe.
And very, very unsafe. Like, I would venture a guess that no one has injured more wrestlers than Sheamus.
I bet no one has given more concussions than Sheamus.
Yeah, absolutely. And then I guess this for me, this is every year is still Roman Reigns. Like I don't even think he's improved in the last year.
No, he hasn't improved. Although he's been in good matches. I couldn't.
Yeah, the guys are capable of being in good matches.
Yeah, I would absolutely put him on an overrated list, but I don't think I'd have him on my worst wrestler list. But I'm not saying you're not allowed to.
Yeah.
But yeah, I feel like I just thought of someone else who was real bad, but maybe it was just Yujiro.
I got another one. Hernandez.
Hernandez does.
Oh, Hernandez is horrible.
Hernandez is, in fact, not a good wrestler.
Hernandez made Drago look 300 times worse than Drago already kind of is.
Yeah, he had some. Yeah, Hernandez had some poor performances in Lucha.
The weird thing is that Hernandez is weird. Like, he's athletic.
Yeah.
And he can do, like, crazy-ass dives over the top rope. Like, he's a big dude.
Yeah.
But he's just really fucking lazy in the ring.
Yeah.
And, like, just doesn't give a shit.
He's not far that lazy, but he's lazy.
No. Because he's in good shape. But he did continue the tradition of guys getting shitty, stupid tattoos in the middle of their chests.
Yeah. Always a good one.
Yeah, fucking Hernandez.
That was the other one I thought of. Possibly worst wrestler who held a world title this year, Akibono. Who might have been in the... Is there a worst match of the year category?
There's worse matches.
Because he might have been in it. For the world title. The Ultra Japan Triple Crown. So I can get into that. But he's... first of all, he's 500 pounds anyway. Secondly, he's like just coming back from like a bunch of injuries and like illness, and like he can't do anything.
No. Wasn't he just like? I mean, to me, I always just picture him as doing like the 8-man opener comedy matches.
Yeah, but in All Japan, because All Japan's in such a pathetic state, he's a main eventer.
Ugh, that's terrible.
Yeah, it's not good.
Is that you got anybody else, or is that
no? I'm glad I remembered Akibono. That's what I wanted to say.
Right. Well, then this can segue us into the worst match of the year.
Okay.
Which for me, I have 2 written down. I'm sure there's way more. But hands down for me, the worst match of the year.
I know where you're going.
Yeah, is Villano 3, 4, and 5 versus Los Psycho Circus at Triple Mania.
Yeah.
That match is not even a match. Because you've got, what, a 60-something-year-old, a 50-something-year-old, and a 40-something-year-old?
No, the youngest was like 53.
Ugh, even
it was
worse.
like 53, 59, and 63 or something.
That's horrible.
Yeah.
And only one of the clowns is any good. And he's not even that good.
Yeah, he's just
He's the most workable clown.
than the other two lunkheads.
Los Psycho Circus used to be a big thing.
Yeah.
Now they're garbage. They are like worse than garbage. Whatever's lower than garbage, that's them.
Yeah, I'd say you're right. And yeah, it was awarded the prestigious -5 stars from
which it
from
deserved.
Dave Meltzer. One thing which I didn't know because someone on the torrents like made a compilation of -5 star matches. Charmel versus Jenna Morasca, not -5 stars. It was -4 stars.
Oh,
they did something right, I guess. But Alvarez gave it -5 stars, as you can hear on the beginning of any Botchamania.
Yes,
that's the match that is referring to.
Yes. The other match that I have, and I'm sure that at some point I'll get heat for this from somebody, possibly Dan, because he's a scummy bitch.
Maybe I'll just give you some for the hell of it.
Okada and Tenryu.
Oh, okay. Because I was going to say that on behalf of Kelly, who I know that is his worst match of the year.
Yeah. Like, God bless Tenryu for wanting to have a retirement match at his age and his mobility levels. But, like, it's not even a match. It's really not.
It was a weird Okada one-man show.
Yeah, like, I mean, like, sure there's, like, chopping and, like, some punches.
Yeah.
And, like, an attempted, like, kick. Like
kick not so much, but if both of Tenryu's feet are planted, he's okay.
Yes.
He can punch and he can chop. His upper body seems to work.
I will say that the only good thing in the match was Okada giving himself a powerbomb in the corner.
Amazing.
Because he had to do all of that.
Top 1 most amazing spots I've ever seen.
And he, like, took it pretty mean, too.
Yeah. And just, like, what led up to it. Because, like, the powerbomb from the corner was not a planned spot.
No.
Because Tenryu was supposed to powerbomb Okada regular.
Yes.
And they tried it in the ring, and Tenryu simply could not, because I believe Tenryu is paralyzed from the waist down.
Very possible. Yeah,
He seems to be.
I would believe that.
Yeah.
Cannot move his legs.
So, and when you lift someone, especially for a powerbomb, you have to lift with your legs. So
Yes.
he tries to do this and collapses, and tries again and collapses, and then he gets a bright idea. More power to him, because on paper it was a better idea than what he had been doing.
Yes.
He thinks to himself, well, if I try to powerbomb him right in the corner with my back to the corner, I can prop up my whole body against the turnbuckle, and then I can get enough leverage, even with my crippled lower half, to get him up for a powerbomb. And we tried, still couldn't do it, but Okada, goddammit, powerbombed himself.
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah.
It was literally... It was
Like I almost feel like Tenryu didn't even get his arms all the way up. Like
No.
like he got him in the position.
Yeah.
And Okada jumped, and then Tenryu had to grab the ropes, and Okada just flipped himself and planted.
Yeah, it was like Ibushi wrestling the blow-up doll.
Yeah, pretty much.
So yeah, it was amazing and sad, and won the Tokyo Sports Match of the Year. Because Tokyo Sports is weird. They basically just vote for, like, the most, like...
Important thing that happened.
Historic, notable thing.
Which, of course, is Tenryu's last match. Yeah. So, yeah, of course.
So I remember in, like, Kobashi retired 2013, so it would have been 2012 at one of those all-together shows, the, like, New Japan, All Japan joint shows. Or New Japan, All Japan, Noah joint ones. It was Kobashi and Muto against Yano and Iizuka, and it won Tokyo Sports Match of the Year just because it was Kobashi and Muto teaming. So yeah. You heard me right, folks. Takashi Iizuka was in someone's Match of the Year in 2012.
Jesus Christ.
So yeah, it's quite a time to be alive.
Yes, it is.
So, yeah, you definitely mentioned two that I certainly would have mentioned. I will add, as I alluded to when talking about Akebono, Akebono versus Shuji Ishikawa, I believe I think it was for the Triple Crown, and it was, the whole match was basically the Tenryu powerbomb spot, as the whole match was them trying to powerbomb each other, with 0% success rate on both sides. Like, the whole match is a botchamania. And I wish I could tell you, it's on a semi-recent edition of botchamania, in the 290s. I don't know which one, but it's on there, and it's real sad and a total bummer. What's funny is, remember that I mentioned Shuji Ishikawa and perhaps the worst match of the year later on, because his name will come up again in a different category.
Interesting.
Yeah.
We can transition next to women being women.
Bitches.
We're gonna transition to women.
Oh, you and I
women, yeah.
are transitioning to women.
We're becoming transparent.
Okay.
To worst show of the year.
Okay.
Which for me, there's only one clear-cut winner, and that's
Tokyo Dome.
That's 100%. Well, it's the whole G1.
Yeah.
Which is Triple Mania 23.
It's got to be Triple Mania.
And not only for the horrible show itself. None of the matches make any sense. None of the matches are watchable. But just, like, the fact that they wanted it to be a big international show. They wanted to be able to show it. They got English commentators. Yep. They wanted to broadcast it, and nothing fucking worked.
It was
the sound
a disaster.
It was like nothing could have gone any more worse than what did.
Yeah.
Like, nothing about that show worked correctly. And you have, finally, you get Rey Mysterio versus Mystico, and it is a sloppy garbage fest.
Yep.
Blown spots left and right, and Mystico turns heel for
no
reason.
That weird suplex through the table. It was so weird.
And then just, heel interference for just, the sake of having heel interference, and then Mystico trying to tope into Paraguayo Jr. and just,
blowing it.
And blowing it like always. Like, it was just the whole show, and,
Tope wasn't on Pero. I can tell you that.
Oh, not yet. Sorry. Pero was
Averno or
something like that. Whatever the fuck it was.
Yeah.
And then the 3-team trios, but it was literally 6-on-3.
Yeah.
Like, it make no sense why that was a match.
Yeah.
And then, like, Del Rio, or sorry, Alberto El Patron, and Brian Cage, which was fine. But, like, and the only good part was Brian Cage wearing a Trump 2016 shirt to the ring.
That's right.
But, like, that whole card was just fucking garbage.
Yeah.
And it definitely made you assholes watch it.
Yep. But it was sort of fun for that for that aspect. And man, I feel terrible for AAA because in spring of this most recent year, their 4 main eventers were Alberto Del Rio, Rey Mysterio Jr., Perro Aguayo Jr., and Mystico. Mystices. So, that was a scant 9 months ago. Flash forward to 6 months later, not even now, several months ago. 6 months after that, so fall of this past year. Paraguayo dies in the ring. Alberto gets poached back by WWE while still world champion. Mystico jumps back to CMLL for no reason. And Ray is on again, off again, injured at best.
And now in Lucha
Underground. But it's still
yeah.
involved with AAA, but, like, not doing much. So, like, yeah, it has completely gone to shit. I believe their world title program is 2 white guys now. I think it's Brian Cage and Johnny Mundo. So, yeah, that's how well things are going for AAA. It's a bad scene.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I think that's pretty clearly worst show of the year. I'm sure, again, as is going to be a common theme.
There was TNA stuff that was garbage. There was
some terrible TNA shows, and I'm sure we don't know about them.
I'm sure that nobody knows about them.
Yeah. And, yeah, I remember even, like, this is probably 2 years ago. I remember, like, Brian and Vinny on their podcast, like, debating if Brian's purchase of the pay-per-view to report on it was in fact the only purchase of that pay-per-view. And like, it could have been.
Yeah.
And now, like, it's just not even talked about. It's just, they're just such a non-entity. But there must have been some bad WWE pay-per-views this year. I'm trying to think what I saw.
We talked about it. We were talking about it when we were talking about doing this podcast. What pay-per-view were we talking about?
I'm just trying to remember stuff.
It was the pay-per-view. It was one of the Rollins Kane ones.
Ooh, yeah.
And the whole show was just
probably the one before Hell in a Cell.
Fastlane? No,
Fastlane's
earlier.
February one. So Rumble had that sweet world title match and a shitty Rumble.
Yeah.
Fastlane had Amdrag dragging Reigns to like a great match.
Yeah.
WrestleMania was surprisingly great.
Yep.
Extreme Rules might not have been anything too good.
I don't remember what it was. I'm looking at that right now. It was Neville Bad News Barrett, Ambrose Harper, which was okay. I don't really remember it, but I think it was pretty good. Dolph Ziggler, Sheamus Kiss My Arse match.
Oh, that was a thing.
New Day, Tyson Kidd, and Cesaro, which I remember being pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
Cena Rusev in a Russian chain match.
I feel like that wasn't very good.
Nikki Bella versus Naomi, Reigns versus Big Show, Last Man Standing, and Rollins Orton in a cage. I don't remember.
Right.
I don't really remember that show being good or bad. Like that's just one of those
whatever show,
non-existent ones.
So that was April. What the hell? I don't even know what the May pay-per-view is.
Payback.
Oh, they did Payback and Elimination Chamber.
Yeah.
So Payback have anything? Payback would have had another Orton Rollins.
Payback was Sheamus, Dolph, New Day, Tyson Kidd, Cesaro, Wyatt, Ryback, Cena, Rusev, I Quit, Neville, Barrett, Rollins, Reigns, Ambrose, Orton, 4-way.
Oh, 4. So that's in like another nothing show. And then Elimination Chamber at least had Cena Owens. And that's another worst match of the year candidate. IC title Elimination Chamber. which was just disastrous.
That was a goddamn disaster, especially because Mark Henry was in it.
Yeah.
But they did have the tag team elimination, which was okay.
Yeah.
Like, it was better. It wasn't as...
It was fine.
It was fine, yeah. Like, it could have been better.
Yeah.
El Torito doing things was fun, though.
Yes.
And also, Kalisto being the scariest man.
That's right.
Yeah, Owen Cena, Neville, Bo Jones, Elimination Chamber for the IC, and then Ambrose and Rollins.
So that was that, and then June was what?
Money in the Bank.
Right. So the Money in the Bank match was all right.
Sheamus, Ziggler, Neville, Kofi, Kane, Reigns, Orton.
Yeah, that was all right.
Nikki Bella, Page, Big Show, Ryback, Cena,
another
Owens,
Cena Owens, which was also good.
Primetime Players in New Day, and then Rollins and Ambrose ladder match, which was...
That's pretty good.
Good? Yeah, it was good.
Yeah, so that was a pretty good show. And then
And the next
July
one
was Battleground, and I don't remember anything besides Rollins Lesnar, which wasn't really anything and was just to set up Taker.
Orton, Sheamus, Primetime Players, New Day, Wyatt Reigns, Charlotte, Sasha, Cena, Owens again, and then Lesnar and Seth.
Oh yeah, the third Cena Owens, which is also pretty good, but I think it was sort of diminishing returns on Cena Owens.
Mm-hmm.
And then SummerSlam was actually good.
Yeah, it was.
And then, what the hell's September? Night of Champions.
Yes.
So that had another good Cena Rollins.
And then Rollins Kane. Or Rollins Sting.
Sting's retirement match.
Yep. Owens, Ryback, Ziggler, Rusev, New Day Dudleys, Charlotte, Nikki Bella, where Charlotte wins the... Oh no, Charlotte doesn't win. Wyatt's versus Reigns, Ambrose, and Jericho. That was garbage. And then, Cena Rollins, and then Rollins killing Sting and ending his career.
Yeah. So that had some stuff. Yeah, the Cena Rollins was quite good on that, as was the Cena Rollins on SummerSlam, besides the weird Jon Stewart finish.
Yeah, that's another one of those, how far ahead have you planned?
Yeah, real far. Then Hell in a Cell had Taker Brock, which was good, and some other stuff.
Del Rio, Cena, Reigns, Wyatt, New Day Dudleys, Charlotte, Nikki, Rollins, Kane, Owens, Ryback, Lesnar, Taker.
Yeah.
I don't think that show was very good, but it wasn't the worst.
Yeah. And then Survivor Series actually wasn't that good.
Not really, but I don't think it was horrible.
It had the tournament, the aforementioned Taker and Kane versus Wyatt's, and other random shit. And then...
Yeah. And then you got...
then TLC...
Sasha... New Day Usos and Lucha Dragons... Rusev, Ryback, Del Rio, Swagger, which was a chairs match. Fucking stupid.
Right. TLC had the really good tag match.
Wyatt's in ECW. Ambrose Owens, Charlotte Page, Sheamus winning fucking
right
Money in the Bank.
That was where I didn't watch the show besides the tag match, but after seeing the results and thinking to myself, it seems like the heel always wins TLC. And then I went back and looked, and there have literally been, 2 face wins in, any, TLC or ladder matches for titles in, the past, 10 plus years.
Cena over Edge.
Yeah, and, one other one.
Yeah.
And I'm like, that's, lazy booking. Heels always win ladder matches and cage matches.
Yeah.
I'm not really sure why. That's just how they do it.
No idea.
Yeah, certainly no WWE pay-per-views as bad as Triple Mania or probably most TNA shows. Yeah, it seemed like the spring had some nothing shows. Seemed like April and May were kind of nothing shows.
Mm-hmm.
And Survivor Series was whatever.
It was what it was.
Yeah. So there's your worst shows.
I think we're done with the worsts. Oh, most overrated.
Overrated. See, Reigns is a great call for that, certainly.
It's also the obvious call.
is the obvious call.
But it's true, because
Sometimes the obvious call is the right one. Much as Eva Marie for worst
worst
wrestler.
wrestler in the history of wrestling.
In history, yeah. A lifetime achievement, worst wrestler.
If you... Here's the thing that drives me nuts about Reigns, other than the fact that, like, clearly he sucks.
And he's not white.
Well, that goes without saying, though, because
Yeah.
white is right. Just, like... To me, it's so pathetic how desperate they are
Yeah.
to make him a fucking star. Like,
Yeah.
oh, by the way, now you have to defend the title in the Rumble. Oh, let's draw who's number one. Oh, it's Roman Reigns. Oh, well, let's pick again. Oh, it's Roman Reigns. Oh, let's pick again. Oh, it's Roman Reigns. Hey, guess what, Roman? You have to go through all 30 other wrestlers because you have to be the big star. We need the most sympathy for you that anybody's ever had in the history of wrestling.
Yeah. He's not going to win, is he?
I don't think so. You can't have a face champion going into Mania.
No.
And it doesn't make sense for him to win the Rumble, then
Can't really?
lose it.
You sure you can't have a face champion going into Mania? Because I think we're going to be in a situation where we have a face champion going into Mania. Our Mania.
Yes.
Me.
Yes.
But we'll see how that goes. Spoilers for anyone who follows 3, 2, 1 battle. Whatever, this is coming out after.
Yeah, that's true. It comes
After
out.
I win it anyway. So, spoilers from the past. In the future! So not spoilers anymore.
But, oh god, like, it's so pathetic how badly they want him to be a thing.
Yeah.
Like, they have to just literally... It's literally like, oh, you have to beat all 4 of the Wyatt family. You have to beat... You start at number 1. Your title's on the line. Brock Lesnar's in the Rumble now. Like, it's just like, they're literally stacking everything against him because they want everybody to be like, oh, I feel bad for Roman that he has to go through all this
All the
just
stuff
to get
he
his
has to
title."
overcome. Oh, yeah. And he's not particularly good at anything. He's not good at wrestling, he's not good at promos.
He is not.
So, yeah, he's good at looking like Roman Reigns. That's where it ends, unfortunately. So, yeah, so he's an obvious choice. Who else is a good pick for overrated? I guess Sheamus also, because he's terrible.
Yeah, we know, but everybody knows that Sheamus sucks.
Yeah, I guess nobody loves Sheamus. Who else is good for overrated? I'm not sure. No one's springing to mind that much. I'm trying to think. Anyone in New Japan overrated?
Nakamura.
Not really that I can think of.
Yeah.
I guess Fale is like overrated in that he has a job.
Well, like, and the level of his sort of push, because
Yeah.
he's like in the big heel faction.
Yeah, I get more so like 2014 when he was like actually like main eventing pay-per-views.
Or like IC champion.
Yeah, that's no good.
No. But at least he was skinny and somewhat trying.
Yeah, those days are over. He's made his choice.
Yeah.
So yeah, any you had anyone else for that?
No,
Not written down.
I don't really think so. Like,
Yeah,
I think Roman's the one that always comes to mind.
seems to be. Yeah.
So that's it for all the negative ones.
Okay.
We will switch over to the positive ones.
Hmm.
Now you can go with
Change of pace.
who is the most underrated.
Underrated. And I guess both with overrated and underrated, it depends on what you're using as the definition. Because is it like the wrestling community's opinion of someone is like for an underrated person, like is he better than people's opinion, or is it versus his push in his Fed? Because I would say an easy and again obvious pick for how good someone is versus the push they're given is Cesaro.
Yes, but he was starting to get some momentum before he got hurt.
He was, but they're so... I have no confidence they would have followed through with anything.
That's true. I agree.
Given all his stop and start pushes throughout the past several years.
Mm-hmm.
So, certainly him.
For me, underrated means, like, doesn't get enough credit for being good or having good matches.
Yeah.
Like, the overlooked is more of, like, what I think of it as.
Yeah.
Because we all know that Cesaro is a fucking great worker.
Yeah.
But, like, it's just that they don't use him. But
Yeah.
there's, like, a long history of that. Of guys that are great workers that don't get the correct push.
Yeah.
But, like, for me, it's like, I look at it as... You like either you take them for granted or you just don't really realize that, like, hey, this guy's had some great matches this year.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm trying to think who else. One guy Meltzer talks about a lot, which I definitely agreed with at this year's Dome show, which doesn't actually fall into 2015, but certainly is true in a lot of stuff he's in. Is Rocky Romero in a lot of the tags and multi-person he's in? He often really shines and holds things together very well. And I thought he was the best guy in the four-way tag
Mm-hmm.
this year at the Dome Show a couple of weeks ago. So that's someone Meltzer talks about a lot. I don't know if he'd particularly be on at the very top of my list, but he's definitely good and is really only in just random tags here and
Yeah,
there.
yeah.
As far as other people,
I have one that you and I briefly talked about when I was watching the Dome Show here when you came over last time, and that's Bobby Fish.
yeah,
Because you and I we both at first when we first became a team, we were like, Bobby Fish isn't that good. Like Kyle carries the team,
yeah.
which is still true.
Yeah,
but like he's gotten really
pretty good.
and like
Yeah.
they had a ton of great matches this
Yes,
year.
and that's not just due to one guy.
No,
That's-
right?
that's
And
both
so
guys.
I think Bobby Fish is really underrated.
Yeah,
about,
Bobby Fish
like
is
as
a
far
good
as how
call.
good his matches are.
Yeah.
Another one, maybe not like how great of a worker he is, but how entertaining he is Hanma.
Yeah,
Like Hanma's super underrated.
yeah, for sure.
And then this one sucks because this is like a WWE one until he got called up. Because once you get called up to the roster, you're fucking done.
Kevin Owens.
Tyler Breeze.
Oh yeah,
Tyler Breeze
sure.
is a great worker, but
Yeah.
like they literally have nothing for
They
anybody
immediately
to do.
turn him into Fandango.
Exactly, that's exactly what he is.
Yeah.
Like they don't know how to bring people up, and that's why like if
And
I was guys like Joe or I guess now Aries
Yeah.
or like any of those guys, I would
Just
stay
stay.
in TNA.
Just stay
Or sorry,
in
stay
NXT.
in NXT.
Don't stay in TNA.
Don't stay in TNA.
But
Like, nobody does.
No.
But like, because you don't have to travel that much.
Yeah.
You know, sure you're not getting paid like huge money, but you're gonna go up and
But-
be a fucking jobber.
Yeah, you're making
Like,
a living and in theory enjoying what you do,
Yeah.
which
And in front of a
which
great crowd.
which counts for something.
In front of a great crowd.
Yeah.
Right? And like they have the best training facility. Like their facility is better than almost every NFL team's facility.
Yeah, yeah. Their training facility is
Like
amazing.
I don't know why you wouldn't want to stay there. Like
Yeah.
if I like a guy like Sami Zayn who says like he wants to go up to the main roster, like
Yeah.
do
Do you?
I would fucking stay in NXT. Like
I would hang around. a
Owens
bit.
has gotten brief pushes.
Yeah.
But then he's also done fuck all.
Yeah.
Neville has done fucking nothing. Like look at
Yeah,
the
Neville's done
Ascension.
nothing.
Like the Ascension are jobbers.
Yeah.
Bo Dallas is a jobber.
Yeah.
Like Adam Rose is a jobber.
Yeah, that's funny actually. Eddie, actually the guys they bring up from NXT who weren't indie guys are the biggest jokes on the roster.
Yeah.
Like literally Bo Dallas, The Ascension, Adam Rose.
Yeah.
Some of the biggest jokes on the main roster.
Well, it's like you've always said, like, don't do anything funny or you're the funny guy. Well, that's
Never.
what happened to Adam Rose.
Never do
That's
anything
kind of
funny.
what happened to Bo Dallas because
Dallas.
Bo was doing the, like,
Yep.
Bo leave, which is,
Yep.
like, the Ascension is just because, like, they have nothing for them to do. Like,
And it's a
Triple H just,
and
like,
it's a stupid gimmick in
Triple H just
2015.
likes guys who are, like, the Road Warriors and
Yeah.
they like, come out to metal.
Yeah, Triple H likes the word Road Warriors, basically.
Like, yeah, that's the thing is, like, it sucks for them because, like, Bo Dallas had a lot of heel heat when he was in NXT.
Yeah.
Like, Adam Rose was a super over babyface when he first started doing the Adam Rose.
Yep.
Like, the Ascension was considered, like, the most dominant,
Yeah.
best tag
Yeah, they
team.
were a big over heel
Right.
team in NXT. Yeah.
But as soon as they go up, they have
Nothing.
they have nothing for them to do.
And what's funny was before Tyler Breeze, not long before, I think Triple H had said in just some interview or something,
Mm-hmm.
we don't bring anyone up unless we have a 6-month plan for them, and that was clearly a fucking lie about Tyler
They
Breeze.
had
they had
2
2
plan.
weeks.
They had a
Exactly.
2-week plan. Come in, disrupt Ziggler, have a match with Ziggler. You're a jobber.
That's it.
Go to SmackDown, you're a jobber.
Go to Superstars.
Yeah, well, but like, yeah, so like Tyler Breeze is super underrated.
Yeah.
I mean Kevin Owens is super underrated too, but we know that it's fucking
Yeah.
Kevin Steen, and Steen's a fucking great worker.
Yeah, exactly.
Right? Like you could say that like any of those good guys in NXT that aren't main roster guys are all underrated.
Yeah.
But that's just because like
Yeah, Finn, Sammy,
Joe,
whoever.
Paulo, or Uha,
Yeah.
like all those guys, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, those are for me. Those are the ones that are underrated. Do you have any other ones you can think of, or?
No, that's all I got for that.
Um, I'm going to go
Do
to.
we? Do you have a most improved category?
I do not, but we
Okay,
can. But
if
we can
you,
100% do one if
we
you
don't have
want.
to do one. I'll just throw it into because it sort of works for underrated. Because for most of the rest of his career, I've been lukewarm on him at best. Um, and he had actually a very, undeniably very good 2015, that being Roderick Strong, who had two awesome matches with Zack Sabre Jr. He had a really good match with Okada in Ring of Honor. He had a good match with Tanahashi when he was over. A couple good ones with Jay Lethal. Not the 60-minute draw with Jay Lethal. Don't do 60-minute draws, guys.
It's 2016. You don't need to do 20. Like you don't
Just
need to
don't
do
do it.
draws.
But yeah, I think he's definitely had the best year of his career, and he's definitely had the most matches I've liked of his this year. Maybe more this year than all previous years combined. But yeah, he was really good this year. So yeah, I don't know if it quite works for underrated, but a strong candidate for a most improved type. Anyway, next thing.
I will just go up the list. So, um, this one for me, I only have one answer because I think it's the answer, which is Rookie of the Year,
Okay.
which for me is across the board Chad Gable.
Mm-hmm.
He's a fucking great worker. He surprisingly has a really great personality, which when I first saw him, didn't think he would. Like,
Yeah.
he didn't seem like that kind of guy, especially coming from, like, an amateur wrestling, like, because I feel like a lot of, like, guys who are athletes in other sports
Yeah.
are either lunatics, i.e., Mojo Rawley,
Sure.
or are just, like, athletes. Like,
Yeah.
they're not performers.
Yeah. They don't have the charisma.
And so, like, when he first got signed, I really didn't think that he would be. I, like, knew that he'd be a good worker.
Yeah.
But I didn't think he would be, like, a great promo entertainer dude. He's
Yeah.
awesome.
Yeah.
He's so cool.
He's a little Kurt Angle.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, yeah. And, like, less crazy than Kurt Angle.
Hopefully.
Well, and
Hopefully it stays that
hopefully
way.
he doesn't get a bunch
Kurt
of,
Angle didn't start crazy.
yeah, hopefully he doesn't get a bunch of concussions and then
Yeah, and
have sex with black women.
and get a painkiller addiction.
Yeah, but, like, also, too, like, Gable is good, and he's elevated Jason Jordan.
He has saved Jason Jordan's career.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Like, Jason Jordan owes him his career.
Yes.
And, like, they're a good team. They're super entertaining. They
Yeah.
have the best finish.
It is the best finish. It's so good.
It's so good.
Huge kudos to whoever thought of that move.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I don't know if it was one of them or an agent or something,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
whoever was, fucking good job. That is a sweet ass move, and it always looks good.
Yeah.
And
Even
it's
on, like, bigger dudes.
yeah, and it's a tough move to do. Yeah, so that's really cool. Yeah, certainly him for me as well. I don't know if he counts. He might be. Well, it's certainly his first big year. He certainly debuted before 2015, but surprisingly, Yujiro's younger brother. Well, this is his first name. I think it's Hiromu Takahashi, but this whole year he was in Mexico as Kama Itachi, who having a bunch of fucking crazy ass matches with Dragon Lee all year, most of which were extremely highly rated by people. So it'll be interesting when he comes back to New Japan. Hopefully he does a lot better than Desperado did when he came back and basically had a match for the junior title, lost, and then did nothing ever again.
Yeah.
Which was funny because like it was the same thing like when Desperado was in Mexico the year before. So when he was there in 2013 because he came back in 2014.
Yeah.
He was great and had like great feuds and great Mask versus Hair with Ray Kometa it would have been, and when he was when Desperado was Namahage, yeah, and he was great.
Namahage?
Yeah, and yeah, then came back and that just really did nothing as Desperado. So hopefully it's not the same thing for Kamatachi, Takahashi, whatever, when he when he comes back. The only thing working against him is he's very small, even for a junior.
Wow.
But
Well, Yujiro's not that big.
no, and he's like considerably smaller than Yujiro. And Yujiro works heavyweight.
Yeah.
And
Define works.
yeah, true. But yeah, hope he does a lot of fucking wild shit. So hopefully he spices up the junior division. No reason he couldn't do some stuff with Kushida when he gets back to New Japan, which should be soon. I think it'll probably be February or March. I would think. I think he's coming back. So yeah, so he's again not sure if he entirely counts, but 2015 was definitely his first like year on the map at the very least.
Right. Sometimes it's hard to pick a rookie.
Rookies are really tough.
It's like you've done lower level indies, or you've done this, or you've done that, but it's
Yeah.
like, what's your big exposure, right?
Yeah.
So, all right, I will do the best storyline of the year.
Okay.
Mine is silly because I couldn't think of one that was like, there were some good ones, but mine was Marty the Moth and his obsession with Sexy Star, because it was awesome.
It was. I think it was okay until the last show, at which point it became super awesome.
Yeah, and I can't wait to find out what happens.
Oh yeah, it sounds like everything about it in season 2 is going to be fantastic. So yeah, no complaints there. And there's some other good Lucha Underground storylines too, like like Mil Muertes was booked really well throughout, really.
Yep.
Like killing Phoenix, and then winning the world title in the last show, and all that. I'm trying to think what other storylines. Yeah, I hadn't thought about that much.
I had Pentagon versus Everyone's Arm.
Yep.
Was good.
And like the Vampiro feud, and
I have that under feud.
okay. Yeah, so story. Yeah, because I was gonna say like the build to Tanahashi Okada, but that's more feud than storyline. Yeah, so I don't really have much as far as storyline goes. Like Taker and Brock sort of.
It wasn't even that good, though.
Yeah, and it was like basically Taker being a heel. And
that's 100% what it was.
Repeatedly kicking Brock in the dick.
Oh,
like that was the storyline.
That low blow.
When Brock got him back.
Oh, I'm still feeling it.
Got him good.
That was so fucking mean.
Why aren't we talking about Rollins Kane? That was obviously the best storyline.
Yeah, sure. Why not?
Hey, Kane had to play 2 parts. It was difficult. It was
yeah. Sometimes he was a good guy, but then he put a mask on and he was a bad guy.
He was a regular Eddie Murphy and the Clumps.
Yes, it's exactly what Kane was.
Yeah. Hercules. Yeah. Yeah, I don't have much as far as storyline goes. Maybe there weren't any good storylines this year. What was Chikara usually has like a big overarching storyline for each season. I haven't really paid that much attention this year.
I haven't watched any Chikara since all the people that I knew and liked left.
Yeah. Oh, it was a one-off thing, but Chikara actually did do an awesome thing where in 2011 Eddie Kingston hit your favorite wrestler hit Archibald Peck, Artie Evans, whatever, with the back fist to the future, and then on his blog, like that night or whatever, Archibald Peck said, like, made a post about how the back fist to the future had in fact transported him to the future, and he found himself at a Chikara show in 2015, like looking at the 2015 Chikara annual, and then and it was just a funny thing at the time. But then 4 years later, after their match, and like Pac hasn't even been in Chikara for a couple of years, showed up at the Chikara show like dazed and confused, and like wondering and like asking people what year it was and stuff. So like they paid off a random 4-year-old angle.
That's pretty
so
fucking great.
that's pretty great. So kudos on that.
That's pretty great.
Yeah.
Just don't fuck the hell.
Don't fuck the hell, Mike.
Michael.
Quack. I like referred to her as the help.
Yeah, I can't think of anything that was like super important this year.
Yeah.
I think worst match. Let me throw one out at you.
I'll allow it.
Sting Hunter WrestleMania. Just because it was so stupidly overbooked.
It was interesting.
But I mean, Hogan took a bump. Hall took a great bump. Nash faked a quad tear.
Yeah.
Like that was pretty fun.
Yeah. Hall took a back body drop on the floor, right?
No, Hall did.
Yeah, Hall.
Hogan took the push into the post.
Yeah, and X-Pac took a great bump also, as I recall.
Yeah.
He took like a snap bump on the floor.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah, they were all psychos.
Oh god, Nash faking that quad tear was the greatest thing ever, though.
So funny.
It was so funny.
Yeah, I think the match would have been delightful live. On TV, it was pretty silly.
Yeah, and it wasn't great.
No.
Like Sting looked old.
Yeah,
and slow.
And 100% the wrong guy won.
Yeah, but that's not how Hunter works. He had to beat WCW.
Yes, because that's what that feud was about.
Yeah.
It's so weird. Yeah.
Anyways, best television program.
WWE Superstars.
TNA Impact on Pop TV.
TNA Explosion on No TV.
It's on Fight Network here.
There you go.
I watch it all the time.
Good man.
Yeah, I get to watch all of those Mandrews versus Jesse Goddard's matches.
Sweet. I taught managers everything he knows.
He taught us the secret.
He did teach us a secret. I've never been blown up since.
Yeah.
I don't think that's true, but it helps.
Yes.
Vicks Vapor Rub in the nose, for those who don't know what we're talking about.
No, well, secret's out now.
Secret's out.
Too late.
Also, when you're fucking a girl, get her to paint her face like a panda, then take a picture of
No,
her.
you both have to.
You both have to.
You both have to take
Yeah.
a picture, then they're both paint your faces like pandas, and then cuddle
Yeah.
and take a picture. And the only person that's ever achieved that goal,
Steve Schneider.
the weirdest person we've ever met, Steve Schneider.
Yeah.
And Steve, you are my hero for doing Panda Club, by the way.
Hashtag Panda Club.
Hashtag Panda Club. I tried to get a girl to do it once, and she would not do it.
What a bitch.
What a bitch.
That's why she ain't around anymore.
Yeah, that's
Nope.
why. That's why I had to kill your sister.
No, no Panda Club, no peace.
Anyways, fucking.
Oh, so TV show. I think there's 3 candidates. You can pick from any of them. I think the 3 candidates are Lucha Underground, NXT, and New Japan World Pro Wrestling on Access TV. So there.
I concur with you, sir. I will say that I was pretty obsessed with Lucha Underground, so that might have to be my number 1.
Yeah, I think I give it to Lucha Underground because NXT is great and like super logically booked and everything makes sense. I think there were more boring episodes of NXT than there were of Lucha Underground. Lucha Underground usually had something wacky going on in a good way.
And I think the production value and the backstage stuff and the acting really makes it way more entertaining.
Yeah. And just so different than any other show.
Yeah.
And NXT, it's mainly building up to the takeover shows, which aren't part of the TV show.
Yeah.
So, like you can make a good case for NXT if you count it as its own fed overall as best fed, more so than just NXT as best like weekly TV show. Mm-hmm. So yeah, so I think I would give it to Lucha Underground, and definite shout out to New Japan for having probably the best commentary team of Josh Barnett and Mauro Ranallo, now SmackDown announcer Mauro.
I actually haven't seen any of his SmackDowning yet.
I haven't either because it's still SmackDown, regardless of Mauro being good.
Agree. Best tag team. Or tag team of the year, I guess.
Tag team of the year. I see no reason. You are correct. I see No reason not to give it to the Bucks. I think I gave it to the Bucks last year, and they have not. I don't think have declined appreciably in any category. They're still as great. They're producing as many great matches.
They're good Christian boys.
They're good Christian boys. Yeah, so I don't know why I would take it away from them. Second place, I think I would give to. I have to think about it, but off the top of my head, I want to say Sekimoto and Yuji Okabayashi of Big Japan, because they had a whole bunch of great matches in a number of feds this year. So I think they would be my number two, but I have to think about it more. And shout out to New Day, not for any particularly great matches, but just for being
Entertaining as fuck.
delightful men who are currently in serious danger of being overexposed.
I think they've been in serious danger of being
For about a
overexposed
month.
for about a month.
Yeah.
Yeah. But they had a pretty strong year. Like they took a gimmick that probably wasn't going to work.
New coat of paint.
New coat of paint. Like they definitely took a gimmick that was wrong
Yeah.
and like really made it work. Like
Yeah.
they made it an important thing.
New Day initially as faces were maybe the worst thing ever.
Yeah, but even the first little bit as heels, like
Still wasn't.
they still weren't there until they
Yeah.
really took
They
it
basically
over the top.
they turned heel because they had to.
Yeah.
Because they were getting like more booze than any heel on the show.
Yeah.
When they were faces, it was so like, well, we got to turn heel, and then yeah, it wasn't particularly clicking when they initially turned heel, but then they all decided to like, hey, we all actually have personality, so we're just we're gonna show it, and then they were great.
Yeah, they just turned it up.
Yeah.
And then they became the most entertaining, and like the introduction of the trombone
Yep.
was great, and the fact that like they don't let Xavier Woods wrestle, but he's still like a really entertaining manager.
And possibly the hardest working guy in the matches when he's not wrestling.
Yeah, yeah, like he spends just as much energy
Yeah.
managing as as the other guys do wrestling.
Yeah.
But yeah, I would agree with you. Like I think every year until they stop wrestling, the Bucks are always in there.
Yeah.
Like the Bucks can never do anything wrong.
Yeah.
Except for maybe Simon WWE, but they will never do that because they
Nope.
make more money by not doing that.
They could stop wrestling and just sell T-shirts and still make more money than WWE's offering them.
Exactly. But they desperately want them so bad. Like
Yeah.
that's all they want is just to have the Young Bucks.
Yeah.
And then I think like Red Dragon had a good year.
Red Dragon
They've had a
good
couple
year.
good years already now, but like Red Dragon had a really good year.
Yamato and Doi in Dragon Gate would be up there.
I do not watch Dragon Gate. I am not a fan of things that aren't New Japan because I don't have exposure to them.
It's fair.
And then I would say that I can't remember their
Use your words.
I can't remember their names now, and I was gonna make a joke, and it's too late. I can't remember. The three cholos in Lucha Underground.
Oh, yeah.
B-Boy. Oh, it's not B-Boy. It's
Yeah.
Cortez,
Castro and Mr. Cisco.
Yeah,
What's their fucking name?
they
As a
suck.
group.
They suck though. I was
forget.
just
Yeah.
joking. Well, one of them's dead now. Sorry, one of them had his face.
His face eaten. He'll get better.
Sorry, a quick back to underrated, which I think is Son of Havoc or M Dog. Like he was fucking killer.
Yeah.
Like
Oh, yeah. Another underrated Lucha Underground guy, Phoenix.
yes,
Because he, Sean. Sean?
I don't know.
Shined?
Shown.
Shown? Anyway, he did that at Bola this year. He had a fucking killer match with Matt Sydal, and then they had that awesome all Lucha Underground match. The Phoenix and Aerostar against Drago and Pentagon.
Nice.
Yeah. And
Spoiler
he's-
alert: Pentagon and Phoenix are brothers.
Ooh. Don't know if we should be saying that.
In RL.
on the TV, radio.
In RL.
Yeah, in RL.
In
yeah.
RL.
I understand. Uh, yeah. Yeah, so that's another one.
Anyways, yeah. So that was tag team of this glorious year of our Lord. All right, got a couple of other ones left. Let's do what the best company was.
Okay. I will.
AAA.
I will deviate a bit from the obvious,
Which is New Japan.
and I will say number 2 is New Japan.
Okay.
And my reasoning being that New Japan's booking this year was slightly stale.
Mm-hmm.
They went back to the same things a lot. I believe Nakamura and Goto had 30 matches this year. And Ishii and Makabe had way too many matches as well.
Yeah.
And the world title picture, they couldn't do anything interesting because of what they had to
Build
get to
towards,
for
yeah.
the Dome Show this year. What I'm optimistic for this year is now that's done, they can literally do anything they want.
Yeah.
And will in fact have to now that they've lost Nakamura, and from all accounts, Okada Nakamura probably would have been next year's Dome Show. But now it ain't. So they gotta figure stuff out. But yeah, it's wide open. They have completed the Okada Tanahashi storyline, so this year, anyone can win the G1 this year, whereas it was almost a given that Tanahashi had to win the G1 last year.
Yeah.
So, and anyone can, we don't know who's going to beat Okada for the world title. We don't know who's going to win the G1.
Yeah.
So so this year, I think if all goes well, and there isn't some sort of total collapse as a result of, Nakamura and AJ and people leaving, that I will be saying next year that New Japan is number 1. But I will give them a tentative number 2 this year, just for those reasons. And I will give number 1 to... Oh, fuck, I didn't even think about Lucha Underground, but Lucha Underground's pretty awesome. But I maybe put them number 3. PWG, number 1, because literally every show is a dream card. And it's just let's take every good guy on the indies and slap him on a show. Don't have a lot in the way of storylines, although they have the Mount Rushmore heel group, so that's sort of an ongoing thing, and Roderick is the heel champion. So they have that, but mainly it's just dream match after dream match, and not every single match on the card is 4 stars, but they usually have 3 4-star plus matches a show, which no other Fed can say. So yeah, good on PWG.
Good for them. I hear your answers. I do not respect them.
Well, I don't agree with what you say. I will defend to the death your right to say them.
For me, the company / federation that was the most important, or the best one of the year, I think, was Lucha Underground.
Okay.
And I think because it was so different.
Yeah.
It was so unique that it actually made me enjoy... I can watch WWE and it's whatever. It is what it is.
Yeah.
I can watch New Japan, but, there are times where New Japan's a little boring. Mm-hmm. For me, Lucha Underground, sure, there was bad matches. But, it was always super entertaining. Yeah. It's not that long. Yeah. So it doesn't feel drawn out and, I gotta sit through 2 hours of stuff.
Yeah, just an hour.
Right? Like I said, the production value, the behind-the-scenes stuff, all the acting, the fact that they take some risks with things. Mm-hmm. I think for me, it was it was the best. It was the best experience I've had watching wrestling in. Yeah. For a few years at least.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, I got zero problem with that.
And then 2 would be New Japan.
Mm-hmm.
And 3 would be...
Nothing?
IWA Mid-South.
South, baby.
You know what? I would say NXT.
Yeah,
but you're right that there are some boring NXT episodes.
Yeah, but all the takeovers are very good.
Yes, all the takeovers are very good.
The stuff they build to is good.
And they get the booking. Like, they understand how to properly book things.
Yeah. Like, everything makes perfect sense.
Yeah. Like, you realize
And,
that, like...
things pay off, and
Yeah.
they'll bring up things that happened several months ago, whereas, like, there's, like, just zero long-term memory in WWE.
Well, they want you to forget everything so that you're, like, don't remember the dumb things they do, because
Yeah.
they have no storylines for things, and they go, oh, we didn't do that.
Yeah.
No. So, yeah, I would say that, like, NXT's an honorable mention.
Definite honorable mention to NXT, for sure.
Yes. Which one do we have? 4 left. 5 left.
Okay.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Let's do Feud, because we've briefly talked about some stuff for Feud.
Yeah.
I loved Pentagon and Vampiro more than anything in my entire life.
Definitely a sweet feud.
That payoff match was great.
It was.
I mean, other than Vampiro being out of shape.
It was still great.
But it was still great.
Yeah.
Yeah, and like him definitely being real tentative about taking that burning table spot, but he still did it like a champ.
Yeah, and like there's just something, even though I've seen it a billion times in like CZW and Big Japan, there's something interesting about seeing light tubes on TV.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, oh yeah. Ugh!
Ugh!
You and I forgot about the greatest storyline in the history of wrestling. Matanza!
Oh fuck yeah, Jesus!
How did we forget about Matanza?
It's all we talked about.
It's all we talked about. All we wanted to know was who the monster was.
Who is Matanza?
Who's eating faces?
Who is eating faces? Who is fuck?
Ah, Matanza.
Yeah, that's up there for sure. Yeah.
But yeah, for feuds
and how we were saying that the only thing that can live up to our expectations of Matanza is that he's gonna have to be CG.
CG Matanza. Matanza, so good. I can't wait to see Matanza.
Me too. I'm psyched. I can't wait to see a lot of stuff. I can't wait to see like everyone related to Marty the Moth.
Yes.
And
Girlfriend, sister, whatever it is.
Yeah,
maybe
whatever's
the same.
going on. Yeah. Yeah.
Ancestral relationship.
Yep. Cheerleader Melissa in blue snakeskin bodysuit.
Yep.
Yeah, and then seeing what the fuck Matanza looks like. Yeah, it's gonna be great.
It's gonna be real great.
It starts next week, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Man.
I'm
So psyched.
trying to think of what other
Feuds we're talking about?
what
Feuds?
feuds.
Yeah.
Yes, other feuds of the year. I would say Tanahashi Okada, but it felt so like just like inevitable. Like it was just a thing that had to happen.
Yeah.
Like I don't feel like there was anything special about it.
And like they didn't have a singles match in 2015.
Mm-hmm.
So, Styles Okada had
Yeah.
2 really good matches.
Yeah.
One their July match is like a legit match of the year contender. Like it'd be in my certainly top 10, and if I thought about it, close to top 5. Not top 3, but it was really, really good. And then their October match was also very good.
Mm-hmm.
So that was good. The 2 aforementioned New Japan feuds that both of which went way too long. The Nakamura Goto, although most of the matches were very good.
Yep.
And Ishii Makabe, some of the matches were good.
Yeah. You can only have so many good matches with Makabe involved.
Yeah. Until just the law of averages to say you're gonna have some bad ones.
Yeah.
Anything else in New Japan? Not so much. Just sort of the endless like junior tag division, which is just sort of the same kind of 3 or 4 teams just having matches.
Mm-hmm.
Anything in Ring of Honor we haven't talked about much. Nothing's springing to mind. Dalton Castle, Silas Young.
100%.
That's a good one.
100%. That was a great one.
That's a good one.
Silas fucking them boys. Fucking them straight.
Fucking the queer out of them boys. Yeah.
Do you love Jesus? I do. That was a great one.
That's a good one.
Marufuji versus Suzuki Gun.
Yep. Yeah, and just like the whole like Suzuki Gun invasion of Noah all
Mhm.
year, and I think it's booked pretty well and produced some good matches, and definitely brought more interest to Noah than there's been in at least the past like 3 or 4 years, probably.
Is it over?
Um, it may be over within a couple of weeks. Because they did in December, they did the big Marufuji wins the title back from Suzuki. Um, and then Sugiura turned and joined Suzuki Gun, and they're doing Marufuji Sugiura for the title end of January. Stipulation: if Marufuji retains, Suzuki Gun leaves, which
Gotcha.
I assume they are.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah. So they'll all be back in New Japan. It would be good to have Suzuki back in New Japan. I can take or leave most of the rest.
Yeah, I mean, like, KES can have some good matches,
Yeah,
but, like,
and apparently did with Hero and Cabana.
yeah,
Which
I,
I
I
need to
don't
see.
I don't need to see Shelton.
No,
I don't need to see Taichi or Taka
I like Taka, all right,
or
but
Izuka.
and
or Desperado.
Yeah, fuck. Yeah, Izuka.
I don't need to see any of them.
Yeah,
Does that mean Segura will come with or stay?
that's a good question. That I don't know.
Be cool if he came.
Yeah,
At least it's another
Yeah,
body, like another person.
introduce. Yeah, and there lots of fresh matches you can do then. Yeah, they should. Yeah, actually, yeah, and I think with this, exodus from New Japan, I think that actually opens up some spots now. So you can bring in Sugiura, you can bring in Shiozaki, you can bring in Marufuji, to do. Doesn't have to be full time, but like have some fresh matches.
Yeah, do
in
some
New Japan,
things.
because like there's not a lot of fresh matches left.
Nope. And people are going to need to feud with somebody.
Exactly. So yeah. So hopefully they do that, and there's no reason they wouldn't be able to.
EC3 and Matt Hardy would be a good one.
Shut up. Yeah. So sort of covers feuds.
Yeah, I think so.
And of course, Taker and Kane versus the Wyatts.
Yep. The last three are Champion.
Okay, let's do champion.
Uh,
Champion, wrestler, and match.
Sorry, there was four left.
Okay.
Champion, wrestler, show, and match.
Okay.
Or matches, top three matches.
Did we do ones to watch?
We did not.
We can do that quickly.
Who do you got?
I got.
If you say Zack Sabre Jr., I'm coming over there.
I think people are already watching him. But no, I think the one to watch is going to be Jeff Cobb, aka Matanza.
Matanza is fucking awesome.
Most people have. I would venture to say most people have never seen Jeff Cobb wrestle.
No, because he wrestled in fucking Hawaii.
Yeah, Hawaii and like some Northern California, and that's most of it. And he's pretty great. And he's got the best gimmick in the world.
He's 100% the best gimmick in the world.
So it should be pretty fun. And then the other one I thought of for ones to watch, which it's probably a more long-term one to watch, and I don't even know how great, if it's entirely the right category, but especially because he already main evented his Fed's WrestleMania this past year, that being T-Hawk in Dragon Gate, not in Super Street Fighter 2, different T-Hawk. He's like one of the new generation guys. He's quite young. He's awesome. He's a bigger guy, sort of like a Shingo type, and he's already having like amazing matches. And like they did already put him in their WrestleMania in July, but like he lost, and it was obvious he was going to lose. But he seems like the kind of guy who will be able to carry the company the way Shingo sort of currently is as champion, like in the next number of years. So I don't know if it's particularly this year, and like he's already a name in the Fed, but like he's got potential to be like ace of the Fed in 5 years. So that was one thing. But as far as people haven't seen much of up to this point, I think Jeff Cobb is the guy.
I'm gonna throw up. I would agree with you on Matanza because he's Awesome.
Yep.
This one's a little bit different because he's a named guy, but he's recently signed to NXT.
Mm-hmm.
He'll debut. I'm sure most people have not seen him wrestle. And it's going to be a real interesting coin toss on whether or not he is a thing, or if he becomes the next Mystico.
Samoa Joe.
That is the man formerly known as La Sombra.
Sombra, yeah, Sombra will be interesting.
Or Manny Andrade, I think is what they have him wrestle as, which is his real name.
Yeah, or like very close to
Or very
his real
something
name.
similar
Yeah.
to that. It sounds like he's learning English. He's
He's
trying.
already ahead of Mystico.
He's
then.
trying to learn the WWE business. He's not just there because they paid him a butt ton of money.
He's not being a superstar diva asshole.
Yeah, like
That's a plus.
Mystico's a piece of shit. So, but yeah, I feel like once people see La Sombra, I think he'll do well.
Yeah, yeah.
Funny story. They are still selling shirts for New Japan for Naito's group with La Sombra still on the shirts.
Oh, nice. Very good. All right, get that money while you can.
Yeah. Well, I guess they still own the rights to La Sombra. It's not like they can't sell shirts with this,
no, they can.
it's not like it's the guy, right?
Yeah, no, it's the name. It's the name and the likeness.
Uh-huh.
And regarding last year, I think I said Biff Busick.
Yep.
And
Look where he is.
And he got signed. And I also I think Dan, because Dan did this last year, and I think he also said Biff, and I think he also said there's no way Biff will get signed because he's not the type of guy. And he wasn't really wrong in terms of being the type of guy, but they signed him. So we'll see how it goes.
Oh, I thought you were going to say something mean about Dan.
Well, he was wrong, but his reasoning wasn't wrong because Biff doesn't seem like the kind of guy that would sign. But,
Fuck you, Dan.
But they did, so
he's never going to hear it.
We'll see what they do. No, it's fine.
Yeah. Would you rather do show or wrestler?
We didn't do champion.
Oh yeah, we cut it on champion.
Man, it's a good thing I'm.
It is 4 a.m.
Get your shit together.
No, it's 4 a.m. I don't handle the shit.
Champion. What are our options?
I know mine, so.
Certainly the best champion to go on a run of 1-17 would be Seth Rollins.
Yep.
But
he was my number 2.
In that 1-17 and before and after it, he had a bunch of good matches when he wasn't feuding with Kane, and was WWE champion for the better part of the year.
Yep.
And won it in very cool fashion.
Mm-hmm.
And did some good stuff. Had some very good matches with Cena and Ambrose and others.
And murdered Sting.
All good things. Who else was good? Jay Lethal was very good.
Black.
He is black. Because he was TV champion all year, or most of the year, and then also won the world title in June. And he was really good. Double champion for a while. Lots of good defenses. Tons of charisma. Done very well for himself. Got to be on the Dome show this year.
In a pretty good match.
Yep.
Yeah,
did well.
Better than I thought it would be.
Who else we got? Minoru Suzuki was champion
all year.
All year from would have won it in February or March and lost it.
Yeah, it was right after the Dome show, right?
Yeah, lost it at the end of December, so almost the entire calendar year. Made again, like we said, got Noah talked about more than a lot of past years.
Mm-hmm.
Had some very good night. Had the match of the year contender with Sugiura in September, and a few very good matches with Marufuji. And then on the New Japan front, who did we have? So we had Tanahashi for a month, and then Styles for 5 months, and then Okada for the rest of the year. So Styles didn't have a lot of defenses out of that. Although he had one really good one against Ibushi in April. That was really good. And then the title change with Okada was really good. And then Okada obviously was good for the second half of the year, so he's up there.
I have Prince Puma as my number one.
Yes,
because he had a lot of fucking great matches this year.
yeah, he did, and he was champion all the way
all the year
through
until the
last
finale.
show, right?
Yeah, but like he had like Johnny Mundo.
Yeah.
He had like the Muertes match.
Yep.
Which was great. He had Chavo, but that was not a.
Can't win them all.
But like, yeah, I mean, like every match he had all year was really good.
Yeah, and he was booked well.
He was booked really well. I mean, other than the fact he had Conan, but whatever. Conan's Conan.
Yeah. Yeah, he's up there.
But yeah, Prince Puma was up there for me. He's one, and then number 2 is Rollins, and then 3 is Devitt.
Oh yeah,
because Balor had some really good matches this year against like really good opponents.
Yeah.
So yeah, he's up there for me.
Oh, question: does it have to be a world title?
No, just like a guy who, if somebody had a good championship run.
Pretty high up, John Cena, U.S. champion.
Yep.
Because fuck, did he have a lot of good defenses?
Yeah, he had a lot of good defenses.
Like so many good open challenges. The very first one was the night after Mania, that really good Ambrose match. Then he had Neville. Then he had Sami Zayn with one arm,
which was still a great match.
Still good. All the Kevin Owens, the Seth Rollins matches were U.S. title matches. Yep. So yeah,
not the Del Rio one.
Not the Del Rio one. But yeah, he's seen a U.S. champion would be way up there this year. Actually,
that's another worst storyline that we didn't think of was Mex America.
Mex America and League of Nations.
League of Nations is bad too. Yeah.
They're an all-time bad stable.
Yeah.
Sheamus as the leader of a stable.
Yeah.
Why?
With a jobber, a guy with no storyline, and a guy who's only there for the paycheck.
That's correct. Yeah. What a team.
Great team. But yeah, that's. But who was your actual like champion?
I almost want to say Cena, but I will say Minoru Suzuki.
Nice. A whole year run is a pretty valid. Do you want to do show or wrestler?
Show.
Okay.
You know, there's also a match, right?
Yeah, but I'm leaving that for the last one.
Last. Okay.
Yeah.
Show. I'm pretty sure we have the same.
Maybe.
Well, mine's the Dome Show.
Dome Show is the correct choice.
Yeah.
A very close second for me was Takeover Brooklyn.
Yes. So
had some really great matches, especially because one of the matches on that is in my top 3 for match of the year.
Okay.
So, and then if you took the best parts of Ultima Lucha and made it one show, that would be there. But there was some if Hernandez Drago was okay, and then fucking Blue Demon and Tejano was not that great.
Yeah, it was luckily short.
And then the Faces of Death versus the Havoc and Helico and Evil East was okay.
Yeah.
So but there were parts of it that were really fucking good.
Yeah, for sure.
Like El Patron and Mundo was great.
Yeah.
And then Willie Mack and Brian Cage was great.
Yeah, it was.
And then the main was awesome, and Pentagon and Vampiro. Like, there were tons of good matches, but there was also some not so great matches. But
whatever stuff,
Dome Show was there was not really anything bad on the Dome Show.
And 6 4-star plus matches.
Yeah.
Because the 4-way junior tag, Ishii Makabe, Styles Naito.
Yeah, Suzuki and
Sakuraba. Nakamura Ibushi, Tanahashi Okada. That might be 6 right there.
That's 6, yeah.
Yeah, so there you go. And the tag title match is probably close to 4 stars.
Yeah.
Anderson Gallows against Goto and Shibata.
Yeah.
So yeah, it was a fantastic show.
Yep. Yeah, that was the obvious option and the correct option, because that was a great fucking show.
Yeah.
Wrestler of the
I would also honorable mention to the G1 finals, which had obviously the finals and was no Ishii Elgin wouldn't have been on that show because that was a league match. But Elgin did something good on it, and so did Ishii, but I can't remember what either of them specifically did. But it was a good show. That's very nice.
Professional wrestler.
Professional wrestler, you say. Who's good at wrestling? This is the question.
Eva Marie.
Eva Marie is technically a wrestler.
Is she?
I don't know. I really don't.
I don't think there's anything technical about Eva Marie.
It's true.
She's technically a woman.
Yeah. Well, I got 1, 2, 3, 4 people in my head, and they all work for the same company.
EC3, Tyrus,
Yep.
Eric Young,
Yep.
Mr. Anderson.
No, Bram.
So
close.
3 out of 4 ain't bad.
No, pretty good.
Nakamura,
Yeah.
Okada,
Yeah.
AJ.
You know what? AJ wasn't even one of them, but he really should be.
Oh.
Yeah.
Ibushi?
Yeah.
I get Tanahashi? That's who you're thinking of?
Actually wasn't Tanahashi.
Oh. It could be one of several people. I mean, it's a guessing game now, so it's Goto, Shibata,
Ishii.
Okay.
The first 4 that came to mind were Okada, Nakamura, Ibushi, Ishii. But yeah, Styles should absolutely be in the conversation as well because he did really as much as any of them.
Yep.
So, yeah, shit. I don't know. And anyone else in any other Fed any good?
Bram,
obviously. Ricochet / Puma had a very good year. Zack Sabre Jr. had a very good year. I like that he's doing more in the States now, and will probably be the next PWG champion.
next on the WWE watch list
Yeah, true.
at some point.
Pentagon had a great year. Yeah, it's tough. Who was the best? And like Shibata wasn't even on the New Japan list, and he was fucking great too. So who do you do? Who do you do?
Who do you do?
Who do you do?
For me, a number 1 is Pentagon Jr.
Okay.
But that's because he was my obsession the entire year.
Who's your deep
He
obsession?
was my deep obsession the entire year.
Yeah.
But Pentagon's fucking great.
Yeah.
But like, yeah, I think for me it's Pentagon, Okada, Ibushi, AJ. Not necessarily in that order, but those are like just the top
Those
ones.
are the ones that
and,
come up.
And Nakamura, like that's the.
Yeah.
I mean, like Rollins had a good year.
Yep.
I mean, surprisingly, Cena had a good year.
I think Cena had his best year, the
In a
best year of
while.
his career.
Really? Yeah, I guess that's true.
I think he had
Yeah, he really did.
I think he had the most good matches in a calendar year of this year because he had that fucking kick-ass 3-way at the Rumble.
Yep.
3 Owens matches, bunch of Rollins matches, those other open challenge matches. Like, I don't think he's ever had a year where he's had that many good matches.
The house show where he got hurt, that was a great match.
That was the best match.
But yeah, like I think there was a lot of good. Like I know that we can't. You don't put. They were tag team, but like the Young Bucks are kind of like Wrestler of the Year as well.
I think I mentioned them last year in the conversation just because like they're so good.
Yeah. I mean, like if you look at the year statistic, like what was accomplished in the year, like Jay Lethal should probably be in that conversation.
Yep.
I don't know that he's like in the top 5.
Yeah,
but he definitely had like the best year of his career.
Yeah, he had a great year. Yeah, I don't think he is top 5, but yeah, he definitely had a great year. Yeah,
maybe Suzuki as well. Like
yeah, Suzuki also had a great year. Yeah, so it's really tough to pick one. I think it'd have to be someone from New Japan. Like, it might be Okada.
Don't forget he wrestled Tenru this year.
He did wrestle Tenru.
That might take him down a notch.
It could, or it could put him up. Just the fact that
for having to wrestle an old man.
He wrestled him, and it ended up technically being a wrestling match, which it wouldn't have been with a lot of opponents.
Yes.
And then, yeah, sort of based on what I'm going to say for
match,
I almost have to say
Nakamura.
Yeah. So, we'll say that tentatively and move on to match.
Top 3 matches of the year. Let's go 3-3, 2-2, 1-1. Or 1-1, doesn't matter.
Okay, here's what I'll say before I say my number 3.
Okay.
My number 2 and...
P.S. I'm gay.
P.S. I'm gay. My number 2 and number 1 are New Japan matches.
Okay.
And I could probably think of 5 more New Japan matches to go at number 3.
For the sake of variety?
For the sake of variety, I did a non-New Japan match for number 3. But New Japan matches that didn't make it, that were extremely close and could have on any given day, were Nakamura Okada from the second last day of the G1.
Mm-hmm.
Tanahashi AJ from the day before that.
Mm-hmm.
Shibata Ibushi from the G1, from the middle of it, which has the best slap in the history of wrestling.
Yes, it fucking does.
Fucking sick.
Better shot, that slap or the knee in the AJ Nakamura match at the Dome?
I think the AJ Nakamura knee was more brutal, but big ups to that slap. Both the February and I think it was November Ishii-Honma matches. So fuck yeah, like a lot to choose from.
You could do
Tanahashi Okada from the Dome.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, like a lot of stuff. So all of those on any given day, I would be fine with at number 3. But for my number 3, and I think I have it here on the flash drive. So if we have a minute, we should watch it tomorrow because I know you haven't seen it.
We probably will.
My number 2 tag team of the year, Sakamoto and Okabayashi, versus Shuji Ishikawa, who might have been in the worst match of the year, and Kohei Sato from Big Japan, I believe, May 28th, 2005, for the, I think it's for the Big Japan.
2005?
2005, yes. I'm quite drunk and perhaps a little tired. 2015.
2015.
Yeah, May 28th. And I won't say what the finish is so I don't spoil it for you because
I wish to see it.
It's 4 pretty big guys, especially in terms of Japanese guys, working a crazy pace for a pretty long match, and it's the most. I think it's definitely the most I enjoyed a non-New Japan match this year. So yeah, and again, for the sake of variety, much as I did PWG for number one Fed over New Japan, even though you could obviously make a great case for New Japan being number 1. Just for some variety, that is my number 3. So there.
I like to do variety because otherwise I feel like we would just pick New Japan matches all the time. So I did take some options, but different options. But there's definitely like some Hans, like the like let's say half of the Dome show.
Yeah.
Like a lot of the G1 clearly. I think there was I don't know if there was that many amazing WWE matches this year. There was a lot of good WWE matches this year.
Yeah, I'm trying to think like what main event of Mania.
Yes,
The
majorly overachieved.
yeah,
The three-way at Rumble.
three-way at the Rumble. First Cena Owens.
First Cena Owens, yeah.
Not a ton else springs to mind.
No,
Super high end
not
matches.
not really. But so my number 3 is Phoenix and Mil Muertes in the casket match,
Yeah.
what the hell was it called?
Grave
Grave
Consequences?
Consequences.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That
That
match
match
was
was
sweet.
that match was fucking awesome.
That match
yeah,
is
that
sweet.
match was great.
Yeah, no argument there. Yeah, that had like easily like best casket match ever,
Yeah,
right?
absolutely, without a doubt.
It had some fucking wild shit in it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Lucha Underground definitely man, they take existing gimmick matches and do them fucking good. Because the Azteca Rumble was so much fucking better than the Royal Rumble.
Yeah.
And then they did the best casket match. They know what they're doing with gimmick matches.
Off air, we need to have a conversation about how dumb they are. WWE is at booking Rumbles and Battle Royals
Yeah.
because they only have one way of doing it.
Yeah.
So
And bad.
it's terrible.
Yeah.
Your number 2, madam.
My number 2. A match I called months and months in advance, and a match that delivered far beyond what I expected. The G1 Climax Finals, Tanahashi versus Nakamura. Meltzer gave it 5 stars. I am pretty inclined to agree with him. What was great about it was Tanahashi and Nakamura had that series in 2014 that started at the Dome, and then they did January, February, April matches. The Dome match was good, but kind of underwhelming for a Dome show main event, especially given all the Tanahashi Okada matches around it being considerably better than it.
Yeah.
Then they had similar match in February, maybe slightly better, and then the best match of that group in April when Nakamura won the IC title back, and throughout New Japan history since both guys became big in sort of 2004 and 5. Tanahashi and Nakamura had a bunch of matches. None have been the match, and you have two good wrestlers, and they'll have matches, but after you've seen it, sort of that was good, but that's not the match for these guys. Best example I can think of is Benoit and Angle in 2001 had some good matches, but they didn't have the match. And then Royal Rumble 03, they had the match, and holy shit, that was awesome. That's both guys living up to their potential at the same time.
Yeah.
And in the April 2014 match between Tanahashi and Nakamura, it was the best of that group, and it was a very good match. It was probably 4.25, 4.5 stars. And all right, and then at that point I was thinking, all right, they did it. It was better than the other two. It was a really good match. Great, they did it. They had the match. Holy fuck, was I wrong? Because the G1 Climax this year was blew that great match the previous year out of the water.
Yeah.
And it is a pretty goddamn near flawless perfect match, and great story, great build, great finishing sequence. That is the match. So both guys can die happy that they, as the easily number 1 and 2 guys of New Japan for the past 10 years, pre-Okada, finally had in 2015, 10 years into having lots of matches with each other, finally had the one.
Mm-hmm.
And like if they probably will never wrestle again because Nakamura's gone. But even if Nakamura had stayed in New Japan and they had wrestled a billion more times, doesn't matter. They already had the match. So yeah, that is my numero dos for the year.
I'm taking a different route
Okay.
for my number 2, which is the women's title match from NXT Brooklyn between Sasha Banks and Bayley, because it's probably the only women's match I've ever watched that I was actually invested in.
Yeah.
Like, everything about that match was entertaining.
Mm-hmm.
There wasn't anything boring, like, air quote, women's wrestling about it.
Yeah.
It was two women who are wrestling
Wrestlers.
fans
Yes.
and wrestlers
Yeah.
having an amazing match. Like,
For sure.
nothing was blown, nothing was boring, everything looked crisp, and
Yeah.
like their strikes looked good, their bumping was great. Like, it wasn't awkward women's wrestling like it has
No.
been.
Yeah.
And like everything about that match led like had it hit the expectations, but it was also the fact that like the crowd was super into it, and like the crowd heat adds to the match, and the fact that like they it wasn't just like, because women's wrestling for so long was a novelty or
Yeah.
just garbage,
Nothing.
right?
Yeah.
And the crowd actually cared, and like it proved like it proved to them, like, obviously because the next takeover they main evented,
Yeah.
right, and that match was still really good too,
Yeah.
but it wasn't as good as the Brooklyn
Yeah, I
match.
think the Brooklyn was better.
Like, the Brooklyn match was the best match.
Yeah.
So, and for me, that's the like, that match is the best WWE match of the year. Like, that's the best match of the year.
Mm-hmm.
Like, there's nothing that was better. Like, there was some really good NXT matches that like this year as well, but like
Yeah.
that's the match to beat for me for WWE stuff.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's on the, because the Observer Awards just came out this week, and the highest ranking American match was Bayley and Sasha, and because Meltzer puts like little comments at the bottom of each category, and he's like, it's worth noting that the highest ranking American match was a women's developmental match.
Yeah, insanity.
Yeah, crazy.
Yeah, if I was Sasha, I would ask to go back down.
Yeah, for real.
For real.
Yeah, Sasha and Becky, go back down,
Yeah.
girls.
Charlotte, you can stay. Who cares?
They'll
But, yeah.
they'll give you the title, but
Yeah.
yeah,
God.
it used to be better, guys.
I'm wondering if you and I have the same number one.
I think we do.
I feel like we do.
Yeah, because neither of us have mentioned it yet, and
Yeah.
I feel like you would have mentioned it already if it wasn't your number one.
Is it from Wrestle Kingdom 9?
Yes, it is.
Does it involve the Intercontinental title?
Yes, it does.
Then we both have the same match as number one.
Yeah, that match was so fucking wild.
So fucking wild.
So
I actually want to watch it again. Is
Yeah.
it on your flash drive?
it's not, but it's on the internet.
I know.
Yeah, so they had a match at G1 Climax 2013, which was phenomenal.
Mm-hmm.
One of the best matches in 2013, which was probably New Japan's strongest year, because New Japan they had that insane G1, probably even better than 2014 and 15, both of which were still very good.
Mm-hmm.
And like, yeah, and so many high-end matches in 2013. I think they ended up having like 4 or 5 5-star matches, something like that. It was crazy. And Nakamura and Ibushi, their first match against each other, they completely knock it out of the park. Crazy match. One of the best done one counts I've ever seen in that match. From that big sliding Bomaye he did, and Ibushi kicks out a 1, but that ended up being like all he had left in the tank, and then Nakamura killed him afterwards, and it was great. And then, which is cool, because then this year at the Dome show it's just their second match against each other. So it's been a year and a half since they wrestled. Ibushi's obviously matured in terms of his place in New Japan, because he was really a junior in 2013 who they put into the G1, and but since then he's basically, even though he's the same size, he's wrestling as a heavyweight now, and like was a legit contender to the IC title. So he and like storyline wise in the match and like psychology of the match, like he was coming in with a lot more confidence and was like more aggressive against Nakamura as opposed to being like more on the defensive in their
Yeah.
last
Being a
match.
smaller guy working in a heavyweight match.
Yeah.
Now he's a guy who like
much
is
more
confident
on
as a
his level.
heavyweight
Yeah.
in his wrestling in a heavyweight match.
And like there was some brutal stuff in this match.
Yeah.
Like there was some like borderline uncomfortable like stomping to the back of the head and shit.
God, yes.
Like it was crazy, and like I know it was done safely, because both guys know how to fucking work.
Yeah.
But some of it was real scary looking, and like it was beautiful. Like
yeah.
I just remember freaking out the entire like at least back half, if not like back 3/4 of the match, watching it live, just like holy shit, like this just keeps like topping itself.
Yeah.
And like, but not to the point that it was like a spot fest really, because there was like definite like storyline and psych to it. But fuck, goddamn, that's a match.
That's a goddamn match.
Yeah.
Is this the first year that Okada wasn't in the main event in the number one match?
Probably. Last year. What would it have been last year? Okada Nakamura G1 finals.
Mm-hmm.
What else? There wasn't a Tanahashi Okada. What else was there? My number one last year was Ishii Naito. And I think Okada Nakamura was second. Yeah.
Yes.
So my highest ranking Okada match would be probably Okada Nakamura this year. The last G1 League match. That or Okada AJ from July.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and also Okada Tanahashi from the Dome would be up there as well.
Because there was a million great matches.
Yeah,
on that show.
Yes, there were. Yeah, it was a good year. Again, hopefully, New Japan can have another good year with 2 less big stars. But again, bring in some guys.
2.5.
Yeah, well, yeah. But as far as like main event singles guys, Anderson hadn't.
No, but he could have been.
Done a lot. Oh, he certainly could have been.
Could have been.
He had that fucking killer match with Tanahashi in 2013.
Fale.
Before he turned heel. Fale.
No.
Bring in some Noah guys, have some fresh matches, do some good stuff.
Yeah.
Says I.
Sign Jeff Hardy.
Sign Jeff Hardy.
Make him wrestle Naito again in a really bad match.
Oh yeah, that happened.
At a dome show. That was a bad dome show.
RVD versus Toriano, that happened. That was a thing.
Bubba Ray and Bernard yelling "fuck you" at each other. That's my favorite part of that show. That whole card.
That's fun for the whole family.
Yeah, especially because they don't understand it because they're stupid Japs.
Yeah.
All right. Well, it's 4:45.
Is it? Oh, it is. All right. We're just over 2 hours. I'm not going to split this one up. You can deal with the whole file as one thing.
Yeah, whatever.
So
It's awards. It's going to be long.
Yeah. You're okay. We did, what, like 18, 19 awards in 2 hours?
19?
That's not bad.
Didn't really get off topic either, which is nice.
No, we didn't. We sort of got right into it, which is very unusual. But it's probably a good thing.
There's no Blossom talk.
No, there will be next time. It's not a podcast without 90s family sitcom talk.
Brotherly love.
Brotherly love. I lost what I was going to say.
Did it involve Joey Lawrence?
No, I was
Matthew Lawrence.
I was going to say
the other Lawrence.
I was going to say the single guy, but that's not the show I was thinking of.
Hanging with Mr. Cooper.
Yeah, that's closer. To what I was thinking. It was one of the like black kid, smart guy.
Yeah, smart guy.
Yeah, smart guy was what I was thinking of. It's too late for that now, though.
The Tien Tamara Mowry's brother, Ty Mowry.
Oh, that was the. They had a. Oh, he was their brother.
Yeah.
Okay, I didn't know that.
Oh.
Are all black people in show business related?
Yeah.
It's like Samoans in wrestling.
Yeah. Unless
Fair.
you're Samoa Joe.
Yeah. Yeah. Weird. The only guy with Samoa in his name isn't related to any other Samoans.
Whatever got his job then.
Big Dick.
That's gross.
Big Dick Dudley.
Big Dick Dudley. R.I.P.
Alright, possible.
No, R.I.P.
Definite.
R.I.P.
Not possible.
Cocaine and steroids, R.I.P.
Yeah.
Ooh.
So, as we said, it is 4:45 a.m.
We are getting up in 3 hours and driving to Washington.
I hope we're not.
No? We are getting up in 12 hours driving to Washington.
Deal. That I can handle. Yeah, I've got fuck it, I've got world titles to win, so let's fucking sign off here and get my beauty rest. I gotta look pretty for my fans.
Gotta put on your dancing shoes.
I do. So till next time, till next year, next year's awards, we'll probably do another podcast before next year. Well, hopefully we're recording one tomorrow, actually.
You never know.
You never know. But until next time, Bad Luck Foley's tummy is a shithead.
Kelly Summers is a shithead. I couldn't think of anything.
You tried.
I tried. Not